And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the top left, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg. It is DRG. Here we go. And yeah, typically we try to follow our own section of the bracket, but we may have to, yeah, just move over after this series, just you know, for the players as well. Like personally, like I would just love to cover more ground. We'll see. True, yeah. Liquid Cure, you do love to see it. Cure finally finding a team as well. We spoke about this the other day, but it's great to see Cure finally actually finding a home. There are a couple of players out there that are still teamless ever since the disbandment of Team Abydos. DRG is one of them. DRG is also teamless, so he also would like a team. It's DRG, Cure, and Gumiho. Gumiho is the other that is a top tier player that is still currently teamless, and yeah, hopefully they're able to find a place, whether, you know, it's a team as big as Team Liquid or even a smaller team as well. Hopefully they're able to yeah, find some support. They deserve it. They do deserve it. But now though, it's going to be a double Rax opener here from Cure. Again, he has been fond of it. This is an opener that we have seen a little bit less of in the new patch, at least in the first couple of weeks, but now it's slowly coming back as players have been experimenting with other openers. In this best of 3, I expect to see Cure to go for a Cyclone opener at some point, for example. He's been very fond of it, and obviously it's not happening here, but again, we should be seeing it maybe in game 2, maybe even in game number 3. As the first couple of Reapers are moving out, the goal here is to lay the third base. Speaking of, DRG is working towards his own third. He actually doesn't scout the natural with his Overlord. He stays here at the pillar instead. Bold move. As a result, he actually doesn't really know what he's up against. The link speed is on the way. Already in production here for DRG. He does slip away with that third base, and Cure is distracted by these Lings, and Cure doesn't check the third base location until now. And at this point, it may be a little bit too late. The rest of the Reapers are on the way, and is he gonna... Nope. He is not continuing Reaper production. He is gonna be transitioning. So Cure, he's not making... Oh, actually, never mind. He is making a 4th Reaper. Okay, he makes a 4th Reaper. He wants to force a cancel. He wants to force a cancel on this base, and he should be able to. You can see here, DRG forced to expand elsewhere. And this is the purpose of this opener for Cure. To contain, to delay the third for as long as he can, and he will delay it quite a lot. There it is. We do have the cancel. We get a kill on the drone. DRG forced to expand elsewhere. Cure shuffling the Reapers is going to be backing off, and DRG should be able to hold on to this base as Link speed finishes up and Lings are on the way. Behind this, Cure is transitioning. You have the reactor and the tech lab in production as well. It is going to be a 3cc 211 from Cure. Very economic. Now, this follow-up here is going to hit with Stim, going to hit with Medivacs, going to hit with 16 Marines, and oh, this is it. We are going for an add-on. No, okay, never mind. I was like, are we going for an add-on swap? We are going for an add-on swap, and this should be for Cyclones. Yep, there we go. I mentioned before at the start of this game that Cure is very fond of the Cyclone opener or Cyclone variations in the early game, and that's exactly what he's going for. Now, he's not going mass Cyclone. He's going to go 2 Cyclones, maybe 4. But the goal here is just to shut down Overlords, just to be active and to gain map control. He is still playing Bio. We have seen players like Clem dabble in this as well. Clem has been quite receptive of the new Cyclone. Cure, not so much Beyond less so. He hasn't really fallen in love with it like some of the other Terrans have. As I do see Cure pushing out. Again, Stim is about to finish up. Again, a really interesting push here. This is going to hit with Stim. This is going to hit before Medivac, so a very awkward timing. A timing that DRG isn't fully ready for. Hellions are coming in to reinforce. to help deal with these Lings. And this is the purpose. We do find an Overlord supply blocking DRG. Oh, but here comes the surround. The Lings, they do come in from behind. They shut down the Hellions, and they're going to shut down the Cyclones as well. Cure overextending. Good stutter stepping, good positioning here. But his factory units were shut down. And not just that, but this is going to weaken the follow-up medevac timing. As we did lose and did bleed out a lot of Marines. 2 Marines. Enough. As DRG is just working towards his 4th base. Getting his lair, saturating his bases, spreading his creep. And he even has eyes on the 3rd base that is being taken. So now he knows it's not a 2 base all in. He is aware. Bringing his queens together. Again, he shouldn't really be under too much danger. One of the queens almost goes down. But he is able to hold. Solid defense so far from DRG. He's been able to recover after having a very delayed 3rd. He's got his 4th on the way. We should be getting a 5th soon. There we go. 5th is being thrown down as well. And now we have our upgrades. 1-1. Baling speed, and even a Hydra Den. And until he gets Baling speed, he basically just has to keep up with all these drops. We have a single double drop, or we have a double drop here moving towards the 4th. We have another double drop about to be sent out as well. Thankfully for DRG, Cure isn't pushing. Oh, never mind. I was going to say, thankfully he isn't pushing with his tank, and he isn't. He is keeping his tank back at home. A more committed push could actually spell a bit of danger for DRG, but okay, Banelings are being morphed in. They're soon to be Speedbanes. And despite Cure reinforcing his drop, despite Cure pushing towards his 4th base, DRG is in position. Oh! And Clutch transfuses the mine! Oh, gonna get baited out by a handful of Lings. And I'm not too sure about this for DRG. He's chasing this very far off of creep. Again, good stutter stepping out of Cure. Does get a lot of those Lings. Mine is going to reset, and Cure getting ready to go in once again, this time reinforcing with his tanks. Now this area is very wide open, so it can be difficult to actually push towards this hatchery. Look at the mine! Ooh. No friendly fire, mainly getting Lings, but the mine is finally going to go down. Behind this, we do have 8 racks set up here from Cure. No 4th CC. He is reinforcing. He's keeping this up. Again, DRG does have a 5th, and yeah, he just immediately gives up this base. Is going to be rotating over towards the south. Queens are falling. DRG is just waiting for more Ling Bane to rock up before he can collapse on this army. One of the tanks was unsieged. And the base hasn't gone down, by the way. Oh, but DRG doesn't commit. He bleeds out a lot of units trying to engage, and yeah, the hatchery will fall. Again, a very aggressive build here from Cure. But he's going into a 4th CC behind this. He's expanding. And DRG didn't lose any workers. That's what's important. He keeps his workers alive. But Cure doesn't turn back around. We have a double drop towards the south. DRG doesn't really have too many Banelings here. He's going to try to engage, but he's going to lose a little bit too much. Hard pick up by Cure. Able to keep up. Double drop coming in as well. There's no Ling Bane towards the south. 1, 2 Queens are going to go down. And Cure is gaining a bit too much momentum. He's been taking down bases, trading well against Banelings and Hydras, killing Queens. And Cure, he's snowballing out of control. 4th base now on the way. DRG trying to engage, but without Lings, he can't. So Lings, they do come in from behind. The medevac, oh my god, it's so close to going down. As DRG pushes back one army, but here comes another. Kior, he has maxed out, he's at 200 supply. His macro just out of this world. And Curie's on an even base count and even worker count. Or is he looking? Kind of. He does save his medevacs in the end. It's a numbers game at this point. We still have 16 Lings in production. DRG having a hard time splitting up his forces. The minefield is looking a little bit too good. The Banelings go down. Without the Banelings, yeah, Curie can just stand and fight. He can just go toe-to-toe with these Hydras. He's going to respect them. But he gets another 2. He does have an army trapped here towards the bottom left. Now, if DRG can get into lurkers, then he can actually start stabilizing. I mean, he is maxing out. Hive just finished. We have access to Vipers, at least. Vipers will help. Still no creep, though. Still no creep at this 5th base. Oh, but Cure, is he overextending? Oh! And despite the lack of creep, we can chase this down. Cure racing back home. And looking at his army, Cure actually doesn't really have too much of a backbone, which is really interesting. There are no tanks, there are no Widow Mines. He's working towards ghost production. Cure has a very mobile army. But in a head-to-head fight, I may actually favor DRG here. Cure is getting called out. And bleeding out a lot of Marauders. Once again, DRG pushing towards these bases, and Cure, he's not set up defensively. But he does turn around. He commits. We are going to be committing to a base trade. Hatcheries are going to be going down. CCs will go down as well. 31 SCVs and 2 orbitals. Meanwhile, Cure, he does not stop. He keeps on pushing. He gets one base. He's going for another. He denies the Banelings, and he will get this hatchery as well. Now, DRG is racing back home. We traded 2 for 2. 2 hatcheries to 2 CCs. DRG, he wants to trap this army. He does see it on creep. But it looks like he won't be able to get it. Behind this, we have 3-3. Still no lurker den, but we do have at least Vipers. We do now have Vipers coming out. And this is getting a little bit chaotic. Something that's important is that DRG, he may have lost bases, but he didn't lose as many of his workers. Oh my god. The Viper takes the Mind Shield to the face. But DRG, he only lost 1 mineral line, whereas Cure lost 2. So Cure did come out worse for wear after that trade. He's moving out on the right-hand side. Up. And thankfully, DRG has left an army here towards the north as well. He has plenty of Ling Bane. He does have enough to force this back. DRG, now it's going to be his turn to snowball out of control on both sides. He's chasing Cure back home. Orbital now on the way. Cure, he is stabilizing. I mentioned before that it was really peculiar to see that Cure didn't have any factory-based units. Now he does. Now he's been making Widow Mines, and now he's pumping out tanks as well. So now he actually has a defensive line. Tanks, turrets, mines. And he's throwing down CCs. Cure, he's like turtling, essentially. He's turtling up here at his 3rd. Cure's pushing in. Oh, sorry, DRG is pushing in. Oh! He has the Vipers. He has Blinding Clouds. EMPs will connect, but the base is going to be forced to be lifted. Not the best bathing connections. A little bit wasteful there from DRG. He gets 9 workers. He gets 2 tanks. DRG, he doesn't have the biggest bank to work with, so he's got to be careful. So we can see him burning through his gas. Yeah, he hasn't taken his gases. Ay, ay, ay. He's only working off of 4 gases at the moment, and that is not enough. And he still hasn't noticed. He still hasn't realized. He doesn't know, Pap. He doesn't know. He's going to be denying bases, which is good. He's containing Cure to 4. But again, DRG doesn't have the best economy right now. And as a result, he can't actually make as many banelings or can't get into lurkers. Does he have any Vipers? He still has his 2 Vipers, thankfully. Yeah, there we go. Looks like he's noticed. He's now saturating his gases. But Cure is slowing the game down. We've been here before. We mentioned before that Cure, he was starting to turtle. That was the beginning. The beginning of this. Tank lines, turret lines, sensor towers, planetaries. Because Cure lost momentum, he was being hyper aggressive with his army, just constant drop play. But now he's been humbled a little bit and he's just turtling on up, walling off completely. His goal to slowly take bases, slowly expand, and trade as efficiently as possible and build up a bank. Nukes on the way, near seal frames, high sec auto tracking. And now DRG, his army is still okay, but the longer this goes on, the more concerned I am for DRG if he isn't able to trade. But here we go, he's pushing in. The bio army's missing. Cure, he's out of position. Tanks are going to be going down. Tanks, the base as well. 11 SCVs. A good trade here for DRG as he takes up, as he barely does take down the orbital. Again, these ghosts and these marines, they were here towards the north. They were in between the fresh bases. Cure, he didn't know where the army was coming from. He wasn't ready for it. And with this kind of Ling Bane Hydra composition, this is what DRG has to do. He has to keep trading. He has to keep finding weak points in the bases and taking down planetaries, orbitals, tanks. This is an army built to trade. If Cure maxes out with like Ghost Thor tank, DRG won't be able to touch him. Not with this. Not with Ling Bane Hydra. Until then though, he still has a very mobile composition. Still maneuvering around. Nuke is on the way and has been spotted by DRG. Able to avoid it. And then the lava going down. Here it is. DRG rotates over towards the north instead. Now this planetary is exposed. It's going to be lifted and it may go down. Cure is coming in, but it looks like we do focus down the CC. And it will fall. At the same time, we have a single ghost killing workers, doing a lot of damage actually. 11 drones for 1 ghost. Who needs a nuke when you can just get a ghost just auto attacking things? True. The real MVP. As you see it. DRG rotating around once again. He has links to harass towards the south. He's trying to figure out where he wants to attack, where he wants to fight. I do think that this location is a little bit more vulnerable. Cure, his main army's here towards the north. But there is a minefield. It's going to be a very risky attack here from DRG, but he's going for it. Here we go. He pulls the trigger. How good are the mine shots going to be? Ooh. Decent mine shots, but again, there's just not enough here. The tanks are going down. Cure is spread just far too thin, and we can even get these center tanks. Oh my god. What is that? 5, 6 tanks go down. He's going for the ghosts. The ghosts are exposed and they will survive. At the same time, Cure going for his own counterattack. He's had enough. Takes down a base. He's going for another. 2 hatcheries fall. And this is still very close. DRG, he may have 80 workers, but he's not mining efficiently. He's not mining efficiently. Look, oh my god, he's got 30 here, 33 here. He needs some more efficient mining. The fungals! Oh my god. He's looking for those fungals and up! He will get it in the end. He barely does catch those ghosts. Where's the detection? There is no detection. We have to rely on the fungal growths instead. And we do catch a couple of ghosts. Half the ghosts go down. Detection now coming in a little bit too late. But a good pickoff here from DRG as he is triple expanding. Trying to get some mining going. Now what's scary is that as DRG has been losing these important bases, Cure hasn't. He's been losing tanks, yes, and he's been losing this base here towards the south. But what's important is that these northern bases, they have been mining quite freely for quite some time. So Cure can sustain himself, DRG not so much. But it looks like he is aware of that. He's going for this northern base. Cure out of position. He's here towards the south. And this time we do have detection. He goes for the ghosts, and he's going to get them. 3 ghosts go down. The mineral line and the base potentially, as DRG has to get the hell out of here. And oh, his hydras get caught. 6 hydras, 7 hydras even. An expensive loss there for DRG. He doesn't get the base. Oh my god. At the same time, looks like we do catch this double drop. Just barely. Doesn't get too much done. Scans reveal some more bases. And this is still very scrappy. This may be a 22-minute game, but neither player has maxed out at all this game, or maybe once. It's still on a knife's edge. At any moment, if DRG starts losing bases again, then he's going to be out of it. Likewise, Curie goes back to mining. This is an orbital, not a planetary. Actually, there's only 1 planetary. Great, these are all orbitals. He's so greedy. So greedy, Papi. This is the only planetary. All the others are orbitals. And here we go. DRG pushing in again. Line shot's not quite going off. There are ghosts in position. This is going to be a much more difficult trade. Gets 4 tanks. Backs up. DRG trading well. Oof. So Lings are going for a counterattack. And again, these Ling counterattacks are so valuable because there are no planetaries. A handful of Lings, they can do a lot of damage. You don't have to invest that much. Cure is pushing. Looking at the units tab, we have 4 ghosts. Only 4 ghosts. That's not that many. Oh no! Now we're down to 3. We are down to 3 ghosts. One of them throwing down a nuke here towards the bottom left. DRG, he hasn't noticed. No! He hasn't noticed. Okay, he does. Does pull back in time, and he saves his drones. Oh my god. At the same time, there's that run by we were talking about, and Cure is going to be the one losing SCVs. It doesn't take too much, but because there are no planetaries, space is being punished. 14 SCVs go down. 19 for the cost of these Hydras, though. Oh no, even the Hydras escape. A really good moment for DRG, and now he has maxed. Cure struggling to do so. As DRG is going to be reinforcing with more Lings. I'm not too sure about this for DRG. He's going to try to force his way in, but he's going to be losing all of his investors. Yeah, this was not it. A big overextension from our Zerg player. Oh, he loses so much, and this base is going to go down. Didn't realize how well set up Cure was. This Link counterattack will get damage done, but again, this fight was unnecessary from DRG. He did lose most of his army. Towards the north though, he's getting ground. Getting on top of these tanks. Focusing down the orbital as well, and Cure, he's forced to rotate over. He may be caught out here in the center of the map. DRG doesn't go for it. He rotates around instead. And I feel like Cure is on his last legs at this point. Time and time again, these bases, they've been denied over and over again. Cure, he's down to 36 SCVs. Barely an economy. Most of his workers aren't even mining. And it looks like DRG has done it. He has successfully pulled apart Cure over and over again. There were a couple of missteps from DRG, and Cure had some amazing moments going for those big counterattacks. Hunting down hatcheries. But he never killed a lot of workers. He never killed a lot of drones. So it was something that DRG could always recover from. Cure isn't out of it yet. A Hail Mary play is going for the center base. A very exposed base. But he has to do so. Okay, no, okay. Changes his mind. Tanks, they're getting caught out. First tank gets surrounded. Second tank is going to get surrounded as well. And as Cure gets distracted, another Ling counterattack coming in. The Ghost! And that's going to be it. The Ghost go down. And that was every single Ghost. There's nothing left. There's barely an army remaining. The tanks are trying to escape, but we get on top of the planetary. Not the most important pickoff, but we get on top of the production as well. As this was very scrappy, very back and forth. GG gets called, and DRG will take game number 1. Oh my god. GG. That was what was that, like a 25-minute game? That was almost a 30-minute game, and again, it barely felt like it. It was just constant back and forth. Just a knife fight between DRG and Cure. And yeah, both players, they were both struggling to hold on to bases. But as we mentioned before, it was DRG saving his drones, Cure not saving his SCVs, and that did turn around and hurt him in the end. He was having a really hard time splitting up his army and being able to defend his fringe locations. Both players were, to be fair. And GG. GG, well played. DRG will take game number 1. But I also believe that a lot of what happened in game 1 is because of the map. Side Delta is a very long map and not the most defensible either. A lot of those fringe bases are very exposed, more so than on some of these other bases. More so than on some of these other maps. And yeah, both players were experiencing that quite a lot. GG. GG, well played. Oh, hello, Pikachu. Este Pikachu. See, Nid staying in the chat. Rowdy. Hello, Rowdy. Jadoff as well. Shout out to Jadoff. Jadoff actually was working on a Twitch extension that I believe is currently live. Let's go. He was working on a Twitch extension for tracking people who come first. People that come first, Bappy. We know who you are. We know all about you. We're gonna put you on blast. It's beautiful. As we're getting into game 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Liquid. Newly on Team Liquid, it is Cure. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player up in this series, leading this series 1-0. It is DRG. Howdy is going down. Oh. What does that mean? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Esther Howdy. As we calm things down, and once again, 2 games in a row, Cure is going for the 2 racks opener, and winding the clock back a little bit, it was half an hour ago at this point, but Cure, he did have a lead in the early game. If you remember, he did force a cancel on the 3rd base. He contained DRG to do bases for a lot longer, but it was afterwards. It was when Cure went for his Cyclone push, where he did overextend. He killed 1 Overlord, then he got surrounded. His Cyclones went down, Hellions, Marines, map control was lost at that moment. And from that moment, we saw DRG was able to keep up with all of the drop play. The drop play, the pushes, if you remember, was initially at 8 racks into a delayed 4th CC. And Cure was able to kill a hatchery, if you remember. He was able to kill a base, but not much more than that. Again, DRG, his defensive play was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive overall. And we'll see if he can keep it up. Go back to work. Good luck at work, Pikachu. Good luck. May you find your Thunderstone. Or not. I don't know if you want to evolve or not. I don't know. Good luck, man. Good luck. For now, DRG just going to be droning, saturating his bases. Getting a wave of lings. Interesting, making 6 lings instead of 4. So just being extra safe here. So far, doing a great job keeping those things alive as well. As DRG, he gets away with his 3rd base. It is going to be spotted. Behind this, Cure, he can make additional Reapers. And just like the previous game, Cure, he's looking to cancel this 3rd, and he should cancel the 3rd. We have 3 Reapers, and we have a 4th Reaper in production to make sure that we securely deny this base. As Cure, oh my god, he's going for a 3rd CC before Factory. Very greedy build here from Cure. Aggressive to begin with. Usually we go for a Factory first and then CC, but this is 1 step greedier than that. Oh, so we do force the cancel. DRG forced to expand elsewhere. Queens are spreading creep. Queens are pushing out. And this is the 3rd that DRG should be able to hold on to. Link speed is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. And once it does, DRG can deal with these Reapers. They're getting a lot of damage done, but yeah, I think Cure knows. He knows that Link speed is on the way. Doesn't want to get caught out. So Lings have arrived, and the Reapers are going to get shut down. They're going to get a little bit more done, though. They get a scout of the main. Up. They get a scout of the main base. They force some lost mining time. And back at home, we're getting to stim. And once again, Cyclones. Again, Cure is really fond of this. Gets 2 drones. More than what should have happened there. So good use of those Reapers. But, oh, actually, no. Hellions instead. Okay. But yeah, it's really interesting to me that Cure, he's willing to forego Marine production in favor of an add-on swap to go into Hellions like this. In the previous game, he went Cyclones, and there it is. Now Cyclones are on the way. It is something that Cure is very fond of. I think I've seen Maru do this once. Beyond hasn't done this yet. Clem has. And again, this is just a way to shut down Overlords, to have a little bit of a stronger map presence. It does weaken your stim timing. It does weaken, not your stim timing, it weakens your medevac timing. But in favor of just early game map control instead. Oh, and not just that, I was curious why we only made 1 Cyclone and why we were making additional Hellions. Now we know why. Armory. It's a Hellbat push. It's going to be a Hellbat push variant here from Cure. Again, not all in. We got a giga fast 3rd CC, Papi. This is not all in whatsoever, but is designed to catch DRG droning or catch him off guard with a very unexpected attack. Now, what do we have at home to defend? We have Lings. DRG happened to throw down a Roach Warren, Papi. Oh my god. Roaches are on the way, which is exactly what he needs. If this was game 1, by the way, where DRG only had Lings and Queens to defend, DRG would be in a lot of trouble. But he happens to open up Roaches. So he should be ready for this. Lings are going for a counterattack. At the same time, Roaches are coming out. The Hellbats reveal themselves. And the wall is not a wall. DRG, he gets in. He gets into the natural. The push is delayed. Not just the natural, he gets into the main base. He does see the 3rd base on the way. And as Cure pushes in, there are Queens and Roaches to stop him, and he pulls back. He knows he cannot fight this. He cannot break this. 10 workers, a full scout of the bases, a lot of lost mining time, and DRG is in a commanding position. Cure, he did so much working towards this push, and it did nothing. It forced out Roaches, I guess. But that's not really worth it. Not in this position. Not after losing all those workers. Jobs are being shut down. Heli and Rumbai is pushing in. We have Queens to defend. And really quick reaction there out of DRG, throwing down that Evo Chamber. Oh my god. Papi. DRG. I know that DRG has been doing really well in GSL, for example. He's been doing very well in GSL, and he's been obviously very active as a player. I mentioned before that he is teamless because the reality is that he is overshadowed by some of these other Zerg players in Korea, like Dark and like Solar. But tonight, DRG, he's playing damn well. It's impressive. 1-1 on the way. Roach speed. More Roaches in production, and DRG, he's cutting workers. He's cutting workers at 67. This is 3 base saturation. No droning here at the 4th, even when it finishes. DRG is going to hit a very strong timing with 1-1, and I think this could work. Based on his advantages, based on the fact that Cure has been losing a couple too many workers, has been bleeding out a lot of units as well, this is designed to punish kind of the more disastrous start of Cure. Is it going to work out, though? There is 1 tank to defend, soon to be 2 tanks. Depending on the angle of attack, on the positioning, on whether we can pile down the tank fast enough, DRG, he could break this 3rd, or it could fail and give Cure the opportunity to come back. Here we go, we have a jump on the right-hand side, and this is the big tell, the lack of saturation in the mineral line. Now Cure knows. Here comes the army. Tank's getting a lot of shots off already. We are edging ever closer. Wiles not landing on tanks, going for the bio instead. He breaks through the Marine army. He's getting on top of the tanks. And DRG has broken through. He cleans up the army, gets into the mineral line. A bold move to bile the bio army instead of the tanks as well. I was a little bit shocked, but Cure, he took them to the face. He took the biles to the face. And every single worker is going to be going down 17 SCVs. And even if DRG doesn't kill Cure here and now, he's already done more than enough damage. As Cure is contained to 2 bases, he's down to 50 workers. 2-2 is on the way. We're taking gases. Now there is a tank on the high ground. I believe we do have high ground vision with this Overseer. We have more Ravagers on the way. Now DRG, he doesn't have to break the natural. He doesn't have to break the natural. He just has to deny the 3rd. Contain Cure to 2 bases. That's all he has to do. That's all he is doing. Behind this, again, he's droning. I say droning. He's actually maxing out on 200 supply. He isn't taking up any further, which is a little bit worrisome. But DRG is in a good position. There it is. There's the tech. Infestation pit. Now we're droning. We are engaging with the army. Miles connecting with the medevacs. And DRG, he needs to trade. Does need to trade out some of these roaches. It's a very inefficient army. Doesn't scale well. Oof, taking a lot of tank shots to the face. Getting a good trade here from Cure. But he's still on 2 bases. Behind this, Hive, Hydra Den, soon to be Lurker Den on the way. And Cure is now exposing himself. Yeah, he pushes out to defend this 3rd base location. Roach Ravager pushing in. Cure, he dives. Oh my god. And he's going to be bleeding out a lot of his Marines. And again, DRG may not be killing his opponent here, but he's trading with the Bio Army. Lings are coming in to reinforce. DRG is being forced back. Yo, can we get on top of the Ravagers? We can! The Lings come in. God, these medevacs are so low. It's impressive that all this damage on these medevacs are through Biles. That's the entire time. I don't think we killed any medevacs. No, we killed 3. 3 medevacs went down. Behind this, DRG working towards Hydras. There's that Lurker Den that we were talking about. DRG, he's refining his army. He's getting out of Roach Ravager into Ling Hydra. But there is a double drop. And it has been spotted. Up. That's some sort of good Fungals here. Fungals on the drop. Shuts it down. We have another double drop coming in. Oh, the SCVs are pulled. The boys are pulled to help repair. DRG, he is in position to defend both locations. The medevac's still very low. And Cure, he finally gets his 3rd base up and running. As he spots the army, he gets the hell out of there. He finally does get his 3rd. What's important is that DRG actually doesn't have the biggest economic lead. He's on 70 workers, which is okay. But ideally, we do want more. God, and that's an insane tank count. Lurkers, they don't fare well against a mass tank army like this. We need more Lings. We're going to need a more Ling heavy composition instead. And here we go. The move that has been spotted. DRG, he knows. His queens are here to defend against the drop, and the rest of his army is rotating around. But this is going to be a tough defense, and this hatchery will fall. And Cure's army is insane. I love that the Roach Ravager is being sent across the map. It's not going to help too much against this army. The spines! The lurker shots. Do get a lot of connections. Lurkers are there being forced back. Yeah, as Cure, he's gaining ground. He's forcing his way up the ramp into this hatchery. Likewise, SCVs have been pulled away. And we do have a surround. But again, Roach, Hydra, Lurker can't push into all these tanks. Not efficiently. And Cure did well. He killed 2 hatcheries. Still has a double drop. He did lose his 3rd base again. Like, I think it was really crucial that DRG sent this army to counterattack, because this army would have been useless back at home. It wouldn't have done anything against the tanks. But denying the 3rd, that it could do. As Cure, he backs off. He's taking a more defensive position. How many tanks does he have? 9 tanks. Other base. It's going to be a kill, not a cancel. That was really cool from Cure. I don't know if you saw, he came in and he pulled back intentionally to let the hatchery be thrown down instead of killing the drone. It's 300 minerals down the drain. Get a quick moves there out of Cure. Now Cure is working on his 4th. DRG is maxed out, but again, he doesn't have the best army. He still is stuck with a lot of roaches. Roaches that he wants to get rid of. So even though DRG is up in supply, it's a little bit deceiving. The soup sometimes lies. Let's say in a head-to-head fight, Cure probably wins. If both armies were to clash. I guess depending on where they fight. Like if they fight here back at home, then Cure definitely wins. Gets a lurker, gets 2 lurkers even. Are we still making more tanks? Okay, we're cutting at 9. We have ghosts on the way. We're already working on like almost a late game army composition. DRG double expanding, trying to get his economy back up and running. He's working on 3-3. Looking at his spellcasters, he has 2 Vipers, 3 Infestors, 32 Roaches. He needs to get rid of them. He needs to somehow trade. He does notice that all these tanks are exposed. They're on their own. 3 tanks. 1 tank goes down. Good snipes here from a Cure, but he just dives on the base once again. Out-positioning Cure. That was a kill this time onto the orbital. And here we go. DRG pushing on forward. Oh, pushing up. Oh, God. Pushing up this ramp. Not going to be ideal, though. It's a meat grinder. And DRG, he loses most of his army. And that's what I meant before when I said that if we fight head-to-head, Cure would win. And that's exactly what happened. And now DRG, he's in some trouble. Is in some trouble. We do have a fungal available. Oh God, and Cure has momentum going his way. He needs to end here and now. He needs to break his opponent. Fungal from behind. Good fungal, but oh my God, the Biles. The Biles connect. Lurkers are in position. We're going in. The Viper doesn't have enough energy. But we are breaking this army. We're getting on top of the tanks. And DRG will hold. He cleans up the tanks, forces the army back. We have plenty of lurkers available. And DRG survives. Oh. I mean, again, there was a lot of pressure on Cure. Oh my God. There was a lot of pressure on Cure to utilize that momentum and kill a base. Because he just lost an orbital, but he just couldn't do so. The lurkers, they finished up just in time. More lurkers on the way. Cure, he's down to 33 SCVs, and we even have a lurker harassing. Oh my God, the fake drop actually works. The drones are pulled away. It's fake, Papi. There's nothing in it. Cure doing so much with so little. Forcing an overreaction. But the reality is that DRG, he has now a better army. Got a Hydra Lurker Viper. Oh, he's taking a lot of snipes though. Oh, and he accidentally borrows his Hydras as well. A bit of miscontrol out of DRG. He's going to be losing this base. And the Viper as well. This is slipping away from DRG a little bit. There we go, the lurkers, they are repositioning. DRG is holding. He's still on +0 melee upgrades, but, you know, Lings are on the way. Lurker denying mining. This is the main that was floated over. But we have lurkers in both bases. Oh my God. In both mineral lines. Here we go. DRG pushing out. He wants this base once again. And he's going to get it. Denies the main. Doesn't kill the orbital. He's going to turn back around. The snipes! Good snipes come in, but oh my God. Cure, he just cannot engage with these lurkers. Not anymore. They've got range. They have the hive upgrades. DRG looking to take this series, looking to not drop a single map. Has a fungal available. Snipe Scarf taking down 2 of those lurkers. But here we go, there's that fungal! The money fungal is real, and we clean up the army. A couple of ghosts do escape there in those medevacs. But DRG, he can keep on pushing. Can it keep on pushing at this point? It's just too much. Every medevac goes down. GG gets called, and DRG takes the series 2-0, eliminating Cure. GG. Oh my god, that was insane. GG, well played. DRG in almost full control of this entire series, game 1 and game number 2. Very impressive stuff. Yeah, and I'm just a little bit in shock because, again, DRG, he's usually overshadowed by some of these other Zerg players. People like to make jokes because DRG, he's a little bit older. He's a little bit older when it comes to being a pro gamer. He's a little bit slower as a result, but we didn't really see that here today. Here, he was on point, he was fast, he was keeping up for the most part with Cure, with all the drop play, with all the counter harassment. Really impressive stuff. Yeah, really impressive play here. GG, well played. DRG does advance on, does eliminate Cure. And I guess we have our next couple of matches. Let's go! We have some updates.